Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim, and today we're going to be talking about my July TBR. So I decided to do a summer theme for my July TBR. So either books that take place in summer or that give like summery vibes, which was pretty easy to do when it came to contemporary romance. It's pretty easy to find books that are either, like I said, take place in summer, or they're like about a summer fling, or stuff along those lines. It was a little harder to do when you like branch out into romantasy. As you guys know, I pretty much mainly just read contemporary romance and like romantasies, fantasies. And I didn't want to just do a full month of romance. Well, it all has romance, I mean, obviously, but not a full month of contemporary romance. I wanted to at least have one fantasy book in there. So for that one, I kind of went with more vibes to pick that book, summery vibes. So I ended up picking 7 books for the month. That might be a little ambitious. I don't seem to ever learn my lesson. Not that I can't read 7 books in the month, because I definitely probably will, but lately I have been so much more of a mood reader than, sticking to a physical TBR. Obviously this is like the first year I've ever done like a month-to-month TBR since I started the channel. And for the most part, it's been pretty easy because I've been picking books that I'm really interested in reading, or things that I've wanted to read, and it's kind of like pushed me to read them and stuff like that. And not to say that the books I haven't gotten to, I didn't want to read or don't want to read. I do. It's just like sometimes towards the beginning of the year, like I was being way too ambitious with my TBRs, and I just couldn't physically get through that many. And then lately I've just been such, like I said, like in a mood reading zone. So like in April, I know I missed one of the books on my TBR. In May, I didn't get to one, and this month I might not get to 2. I'm unsure. I'm gonna be finishing probably the 4th one like tomorrow, and I definitely have time to read at least one more, if not both. But like, I don't know if I'm in the mood to read those 2 books. I think summer to me is especially when like that mood reader in me comes out. I don't know why, it just does. And I tend to just like go on KU and like search for books, and just read whatever strikes my interest at the time. So, but I'm decided I'm going to do 7. I was gonna do 6. I added a 7th at the last minute because I remembered I already owned it. Because like a few of these books I don't own, and I'm gonna have to buy them. And I was kind of like, wait, you should really actually just do books that you have. You have books that will fit the vibe. So I remembered I had one other, and I was like, okay, I'll add that one. Should I have taken another one off? Sure, but I didn't. So we'll just see what happens. So the 7 books I'm gonna read this month. Okay, so the first book that's going to go on the TBR is Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Baston, or Bastone. I picked this book up when I went book shopping in San Diego with my friend. We both got it, and we said we were going to buddy read it, and it's been a couple months, so we still haven't read it. So I messaged her. I was like, hey, you want to read this in July? Because I'm going to put it on my TBR. And she's down, so... obviously Sunshine, this cover gives me very much summer vibes, so that is why this one made the list. So in this book, we're gonna follow the main character Lenny, and she is like trying to deal with the grief of losing her best friend, and obviously I'm just getting all these from reading the backs. It doesn't seem like she's doing it like the best job. She kind of like is more ignoring it, and hoping people just don't notice that like her life's falling apart. She's created like this live again list, that she like promised herself she would do to like kind of move on and deal with the grief and obviously live again, but she's just not doing that. She's basically just spending the only like thing she can do to get by is like doing these babysitting jobs, and through that she meets Miles, who's like the uncle of one of the kids she's babysitting. And Miles is described as being like a grumpy character, and like I think he's gonna basically help her like get through her live again list. But yeah, I think it sounds really cute and interesting. I know people really love this author. I forget, well, I think it's Ready or Not. It says author of Ready or Not. I think that's the one I see people talk about a lot. And I've been seeing this one come up on social media too. People really enjoy it. So I'm excited to read a book by her. So that's going to be the first book. The second book, which just came out last month, I think, which is perfect, is Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. This is actually the second book, I guess, in like an interconnected standalone series, to Not in Love, which I actually read, was one on one of my TBRs this year. I want to say maybe March or April. I read it earlier this year and I liked it. I always tend to like Ali Hazelwood's books. So this is the second book, I guess, in that. I think one of the characters from the first one is in this. I think Maya, if I remember right. Because this is obvious. Well, I know Maya is in this book because it says so on the back. But I'm pretty sure she's the character that was in the first book. But don't quote me on that. But I think Maya was like the friend of the female character in Not in Love. So this is like an age gap. She's 23 and Connor, which is the male, and this is 38. And I guess he's also like her brother's best friend. So this is why it's problematic. There's a lot of problematic things. Age gap, brother's best friend. I guess they don't really kind of like each other. But yeah, so her brother is gonna get married, and he's doing like this destination wedding in like Italy, and they get like put together in this villa. And I guess they kind of decide to have a summer fling. At least that's what I am gathering from the back. I haven't really heard too many people, like I've seen this all over social media, but I don't know if I've really seen many reviews. Like I know I was seeing a lot about it when it came out, but I don't know how people are feeling about this, but I'm sure I'll like it. Like I said, I usually like Ali's books. Like, is she like one of my like favorites? No, like I don't think any of her books have ever really like hit me like in an emotional, personal level where I've like felt, you know, connected to any of the characters, but they're not bad. I'll just say that. So I know I'll enjoy it. Will it be like a favorite? I don't know. We'll see. So that is the second book that I picked. The last minute edition was actually Summer in the City by Alex Astor. I bought this book when it came out this year. I think it also came out in like April or something. And it had these pretty edges. I know I vlogged about it. I don't know. I bought it earlier this year. And this is the last one I like last minute. I was like, oh yeah, like her literal title has summer written in it. So obviously that's why, you know, it's kind of like Ellie's books. Obvious why they're in this TBR, right? Summer in the title. This one is about like a screenwriter. The main female character is a screenwriter, and then like the male, he's like a billionaire like tech guy, and like I think they had like a fling at some point, and they don't like each other anymore, and she like moves in next to him for some reason, and she's like has this deadline to finish like a screenplay, and she's struggling, and then like I guess like seeing him kind of like fuels something in her, to like angry, right? And I think they just start like a fling. So I guess they decided to start like a fake dating situation because like I guess he needs to, I don't know, appear like he's in a relationship for something for work. And I guess she's kind of getting like this inspiration from being around him for her writing. It's a really short book. So I don't know. I think I've seen like mixed things about it. It doesn't have like the best reviews on Goodreads, but it's also not terrible. It's like around like in the 3.7-ish area. So like, I don't know. I'll see if I like it or not. But yeah, this one was an obvious, you know, to put in there. I'm glad I remembered I had this because obviously I already own it. So, you know, I need to read it. So that is the third book we're going to read. And the other 4 I don't physically own. So, I'll be putting him up here on the screen. Okay, the next one I'm going to read is called Summer Romance. So obviously why it's on the TBR. Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. This one just kind of popped up. I was searching for romances, summer romances for this and everything, and this one popped up, literally called Summer Romance. So it was, you know, again, it was an obvious choice. It also has good reviews. From what I read about this, main female character is kind of just like dealing with her life basically falling apart. She loses her mother. She goes through a divorce. and she's just kind of like trying to, you know, figure things out. And then she meets this guy, it explains like a cute little meet cute with like her dog and stuff like that. And she's just like feeling like she's not in a place to have like a relationship. She's just like, you know, that's not going to happen right now. She's just basically trying to get her life put back together. But she's kind of like, well, but what's the harm in a summer fling? So I think, yeah, this is about like a summer fling, little romance. It sounds cute. It sounds fun. Something perfect for the summer, you know. And like I said, it has good reviews. It's like in the 4 point somethings on Goodreads, 4.1 or something like that in Goodreads. So I was like, okay, I will give this a try. This author actually has like quite a few books that are like fairly well written, and I've never read her before, so I'm excited to try out a new author. Okay, so the last book that's a contemporary romance on this list is called Traded, and it's by 2 authors, Kimberly Knight and Rachel Lynn Adams. This is a baseball romance, so I thought, you know, baseball is very summer, you know, summery vibes. So this is a male-male romance. From what I read from the synopsis, you have your 2 male characters. Okay, Aaron and Drew. It kind of seems like they're kind of very opposite. One's really like cocky, one's more like calm, and like one's like I think a younger player, and one's like kind of a veteran player. And they're like there's like an altercation in a game where they're on different teams, and like there's an altercation in a game and they kind of get in a fight, so they both get suspended, and then one gets traded and they get put on the same team. So I think this is probably going to be very much like an enemies to lovers vibe, which, you know, I'm all for. It's also sports romance, which I'm all for. And like when I was telling you guys earlier, I've been very much in a mood reading mode, and that mood lately has been sports romances, and more specifically male sports romances. I don't know, I've just been like devouring those lately, so I had to find one to put on this list because I knew I would want to read it. There's actually 2 books in this like duet, so I'll probably end up reading both of them this month. Probably end up reading both of them this month. Let's not kid ourselves. But I've had it on my TBR for a little while, so I've been wanting to read it. So I thought, oh, perfect opportunity, because like I said, I feel like baseball is, you know, very much a summer sport. So that is why it's made the TBR, and I'm pretty excited for this one. It might be the first one I read in the month of July. Okay, so the next one is the romantasy book I picked to go on this TBR and like I said, like I had to go more on like vibes on this one before, like, to fit the summer theme. This is a book I've been wanting to read for a while, and it just actually got picked up, traditionally published, and that is The Everking by L.J. Andrews. I know this is technically, there's another series before this, I guess, but it's like a really long series. I was looking up last night, I think, and I knew this and I forgot. And then when I looked this up again to put this on the TBR, I was reminded. I was like, oh yeah, there's a whole nother series. I think it's like six books or something. I don't know. I don't remember. There's a lot of books. And I was like, oh, and I actually have the first one already downloaded in my Kindle, because I remember last time I thought about reading The Everking, I saw this and I was like, oh, I should read this first. I'm not. I'm just gonna read The Everking. Hopefully I won't be missing anything. Hopefully I can still read that other series later, and everything will be fine and I'll enjoy it all. I don't know. But The Everking has been on my TBR for quite a while. This is gonna be like a dark romantasy, and the reason it's summer vibes is it's like about pirates, a pirate king to be exact, as far as I know from what I've read. There's also like sirens, there's also fae. There's a lot going on in this book, but it's apparently like a dark romance or romantasy, which I'm also been very much in the mood to read lately, so I'm really excited to read this one. I think I've been telling you guys more and more, like with the romantasy stuff, I really like to go in blind, so I don't know a whole lot about this, and I didn't want to look up a whole lot about this, besides basically what I just said. I know it just has something to do with a pirate king and like an arranged marriage thing with like an enemy's daughter. That's basically all I know, and that's all I want to know going into it. But yeah, so that is why I picked this one for my summer TBR, just like those vibes, you know, pirates, you know. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think there's 3 books in this series, so if I love this one enough, I might end up reading it all. We'll see. Or I'm probably gonna read it all eventually, but I might read it all in July. We'll see. But yeah, very excited to read this one. I don't know, am I dumb, you guys? Have any of you read the other series before this one? Is it dumb to read this one first? I'm just gonna do it. It says I can. I've been burned by that before, but definitely Goodreads says it's technically part of another series or in a world, interconnected world, but this can be read without reading that. So I don't know. If you guys have read it, let me know if am I gonna regret that decision or not. I guess if anything, I just read the first one, and then if I feel like I am missing something, I can pause the series, go back and read the other one, and then come back to it. I don't know. I'm going to do it. We're chancing it here, okay? Okay, and the last book I'm putting on the TBR is a little bit of a, you know, different book for me. It is actually just a literary fiction. It is called The Wedding People by Alison Espak. I have actually been wanting to read this book for a while. It came out, I think, last year, at the end of last year. I remember seeing it when I was shopping with a friend at Barnes & Noble, and I cannot remember. I think it was last year. And I was actually really tempted, and I almost bought it, even though I don't read a whole lot of literary fiction. But the story just sounded intriguing to me. I'm picking this one for the summer TBR because the book is set in summer, and it's called The Wedding People, like I said. And basically, from what I read, you have your main character, or one of your main characters, Phoebe, who goes to like this, she goes to like this inn in Newport, Rhode Island that she's like always wanted to go to. And I guess she goes dressed up kind of nice. So she's just like, everyone's assumed she's like one of the people there for the wedding. But she's actually there just to like kind of, because she's always wanted to go. She's going through, I think, like a breakup or a divorce or something along those lines, and she's just trying to, like, I don't know, I think find herself, basically. From that's like the vibes I get from the book. And then she kind of like really connects with the bride from the wedding that's happening there, and seems like they kind of develop like a friendship. I don't know, it just seemed really interesting to me. My friend read it, she really liked it, and she's been wanting me to read it to see how I feel about it. This one I might maybe do an audio. She did it on audio and she said it was really good. Just depending on how the TBR is looking for the month, I might do it on audio. I'm not positive, because if not, I do have to purchase this one. I'll have to decide if I want to purchase it physically or on my Kindle. I'm actually reading a lot of these books physical this month, which is different for me too. I'm such a Kindle girly. This thing, it's funny because like last night I kind of like misplaced it and I could not find it. I didn't misplace it. I just set my makeup bag on it. Like, I literally just couldn't find it. And I was walking around my house for like 10 minutes trying to find it. And I was telling my husband that today. He's like, how did you lose that? Like, isn't it attached to your hand? And yeah, pretty much. Like, this thing is always with me. I'll take it with me when I know I won't have time. Like, I'll go somewhere and I know I won't have any time to read, but I'll still take it with me. It's like, it's comfort, okay? I love reading on this thing. So reading physical books is like not my favorite. I don't like, it's just funny because I used to think I would hate a Kindle. I used to think like, oh, I only want to fit. I think it was back when I was like, you know, I don't know. I thought I was cooler than I am. And I just never thought I would like a Kindle, but now, yeah, I love this thing so freaking much. Like, I would prefer reading everything on it, but it's just not, I can't I can't let myself rebuy all the physical books I have on the Kindle. Like, that is ridiculous. Now if it's on KU and I have it physically, you know I'm reading it on my Kindle. But if it's a book I have physically and it's not free on KU, I do not need to be buying it again to read it. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with this one yet, but I do want to read it. I'm excited, and I'm excited to actually read something that's not contemporary romance or romantasy. I think this might be, well, no, I am going to be reading a thriller. I think I read one other thriller earlier this year, and I will be reading another thriller for my book club. But I think this is my first literary fiction of the year. Like I said, I don't read them a lot, but I do read them here and there. It's not that I don't like them. They're just never, I don't know. It takes me a lot to get to read them. I usually end up enjoying them, but they're just, they're not my go-to. They're not my comfort, So those are the 7 books I plan to read in the month of July for my summer reading TBR. I'm really excited. I hope I can get through all of them. But I have been coming to terms with it's okay if I don't. I think I was very hung up on that the first few months and felt like I really needed to get through the books I told you guys I was going to read. But I think over the last few months I've let that go, and I know it's okay. You guys aren't going to be mad at me if I don't finish all the books I say I'm going to read in these videos. But I do try my hardest. I want you guys to know that. I do really try my hardest. It's just sometimes time is an issue, or sometimes, just the mood I'm in is the issue. But I'm really excited to read these. Let me know in the comments what you plan to read for July, or just the summer in general. Are you guys like me? Are you more of a mood reader in summer? Are you always a mood reader? I don't know. Are we all always just mood readers? I don't really know. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you think I'm going to enjoy them. Also, let me know those questions I had about the Everking, if you have read those series, because I am very curious. Even though I'm set. My plan is set, and I'm reading the Everking before the other one. But I am curious if anyone has, if they have an opinion on that. But yeah, I hope you liked this. If you did, I would love it if you liked, commented, and subscribed. And I'll see you in the next video.